All right, part two. So I asked him about the thongs. He said they belonged to his daughter. Clearly, that was a lie. But I said, you know what? Don't even make a big deal of it, because I knew that he had a tendency to, I knew he could get violent. But the thing is, me, I'm an Aries. I'm a fighter, honey. I'm almost 5'10", and I'm crazy too. And so honestly, there were times where I knew he was lying, and I would get so angry. I remember this one time I broke a glass because he was like lying, and I knew this Negro was lying. And I broke a bottle, and I told him, I said, I will cut your ass from ear to ear. And honestly, and I keep telling my husband now, my present husband, he thought for the longest when I told him about my marriage that, oh my God, he must have been hitting on you. And I was like, let me tell you something now. And it's no shame if you've ever been, physically abused. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But I promise you, had that happened to me, why would I not share that in my story? Because I share this story to give other women strength. But also, knowing the type of person I am, trust me, if that Negro would have put his hands on me, oh hell to the no. It would have been a fight, straight up fight. So I can honestly say he never put his hands on me, but he was extremely verbally abusive, which in many cases can be just as bad or worse, because physical scars will heal, but those emotional ones are the ones that stick with you for life, boo. So anyway, that one time where I threatened him and broke a glass, he could call the police, and they came to the house. Now, the reason that this dude kept calling the police whenever we would have a disagreement, I wouldn't even say nothing crazy or break a glass, do nothing. He would just call them. And I couldn't understand, why is he trying to create a paper trail? Okay, stick with me. So I also noticed that one time, because he was like, he was trying to press charges. Because one time the officer, can you remember, my ex used to be a cop in DC, but he had retired from that. But police officers, they still got that brothers in blue thing. No matter if he was in DC or Virginia, they would still stick together. And so whenever the cop would come to the house for no reason whatsoever, one time he was like, you can press charges, KS, if you want to. And I'm looking at this dude like, this motherfucker really gonna press charges against me? And I didn't even do nothing. And so he didn't. But at this point, I started saying, okay, Angela, you got to start planning a way of escape to get the hell out of this thing. And so I had a good friend at the time who, she had been in a very bad first marriage. And I literally, 2 years prior, had helped her escape, like literally from her bad marriage. Like while her husband was away, we had to literally like help her get her TVs, go through the window, get all her stuff out. Long story short, so I knew I could trust and confide in her. And see, the thing is, when you're leaving a bad marriage, you have to be very wise, women, because you can't go running your mouth talking, I'm leaving, because sometimes if that man is not stable, he will kill you, he will hurt you, honey. Or if you have children, thank God I did not have kids by my first husband. They hurt the kids. So you have to have wisdom when you leaving these jokers, okay? So anyway, I said, okay, I got to start planning my way of escape. And what really put the nail on the coffin was when one day he left out, and he was like, I'm coming back with the police. And I'm like, why is he coming back with the police? We haven't even had an argument. But what had happened, he saw that I had found the phone bill, and I was questioning him about the numbers. Now, again, that's something I would not advise you women to do, because again, if your man has already been violent with you, that would just agitate him. So I asked him about it, and that's when, instead of him, of course, he knew if he got violent with me, he knew I was a fighter. I'd probably whoop his ass and fight back, even though he was a big dude too. But what he did then, because he was angry, he went out and said, I'm bringing the police back. So what my stupid ass did, I don't want to say stupid ass, but I ran and I hid. He had a lot of acreage. So I ran behind, he had a bunch of old cars and food trucks, because he also had a food truck company. And so on the property, I ran and hid behind there. And he came back to the house with the police, and he didn't see me. He couldn't find me. And I stayed back there hiding behind that food truck for about an hour. All right, stay tuned, part 3.